If you could only drive one car for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Would it be a Lamborghini? Would it be a Tesla? Would it be a Bugatti? You know, what car would you decide to drive for the rest of your life? What's your dream car? My dream car is a Tesla. And I only really like the fact that it can go from 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. So that's one of the main reasons why I want a Tesla. But a lot of us really don't realize that cars are probably one of the worst assets that you can get. As soon as you buy a car, it begins to depreciate immediately when you drive it off the lot. So what smart people do is that they usually utilize assets to pay for a luxury item just like a car. And what even smarter people do is that they buy used cars, something that will hold their value. Maybe it's a used car 2 to 3 years old, and then they hold it for 2 years and then sell it while its value is still very similar. And then they just keep repeating that cycle over and over and over again. And that way they don't have to save up for a car. They already have the money from the car that they sold from the old one, which holds its value pretty well in that 3 to 5 year range. So unfortunately though, for most of us who are normal, we already have cars and car loans that we took out without a lot of thought and putting a lot of strategy into it. And the thing about cars is that it's probably one of the most inefficient loans out there. It has a high payment and it eats up a lot of the money that you allocate to your lifestyle and your budget. So in today's video, what I want to explain to you guys is if you already have a car loan and you really didn't think about it properly, how you can pay it off quickly so you can free up some of that cash flow to do other things. And this is my specific situation. So I have my numbers on here. I'm going to show you how I paid off my car in 6 months and show you guys how to do the same thing, even if you're not making a lot of money, because I think I make average amount of money, only $2,873. So I think it's average. It's not that high. It's not that low. Expenses are $2,354, so that leaves me with about $500 in cash flow every single month. And we're focusing on the car debt. There are other debts, but I just want to show you how I paid off the car debt as quickly as possible so I can focus on other things in my life, like building my business up and things of that nature. So I got my debt tool, my cash flow. Let's begin a velocity banking. So we do the first chunk, right? 67% rule. So I took out $338 out of my line of credit. We put that towards the car, right? And we get it down to close to $6,000. And then we begin to do velocity banking. So I put my paycheck in the line of credits, and that brings us down to $427. There also is interest that accumulated over the month. It's not that much, it's 24. The car loan is a fixed interest, so I'm not saving anything by paying it off early, but I would rather have the cash flow. And in one of my videos on how to live in a major city on low income, it's very important to free up enough cash flow so that you can live in the best area in your town, regardless of where you plan to live. So we got the interest, right? We got to pay our expenses throughout the month. So we're taking money out of the line of credit to pay that off. And then at the beginning of next month, we have a new balance of $2,545. And if you look at this number, it's less than this number because we don't have to pay the car payment now. That gets taken out, our cash flow increases, which means our expenses has decreased, so we don't have to take out as much money. So that's why this number is here, right? And then we just dump our paycheck in here. And the thing that you'll notice is I have more money than the debt balance here. So we zeroed out the account, which means we're good to do another chunk. Obviously, there's still going to be expenses that you have to pay and that you probably can't pay with a credit card, that you might have to take out the line of credit. So if you have to pay rent, because rent, usually you cannot pay rent with a credit card. So you could just take it out the line of credit if needed. If not, you could just zero out, leave that zero, and then just do another chunk, right? Because as long as we're staying within that 66% range, we can keep doing these chunks and keep repeating that process. So chunk number 2, right? Another 3,300. Then we get our balance down to this. So I am in a position where I have multiple credit cards open, and I decided that I wanted to pay this off as quickly as possible. So for me personally, I wouldn't recommend everybody do this, but for me personally, I took out also a balance transfer to cover the remaining balance right here. It's 0% for 12 months, so I have 12 months to pay this off, and it allows me the flexibility to increase my cash flow, keep my cash flow at under close to 2,000. So by doing that, it allows me the flexibility to pay off debt quicker and things of that nature, and not have as much expenses. So that's what I decided to do. It took me 6 months to pay off this car loan, and I'm not worrying about car loans or whether I have to pay my bill or whether I'm gonna be late. Don't have to worry about that. I can focus on increasing my income, 10xing that number, getting this closer to this, right? Which is all the step-by-step plan in the velocity banking, FIRE, freedom journey. And then by increasing my income, what I'm hoping is I'll have enough money to pay this off before the balance comes due. If not, then we'll just do velocity banking, right? We'll take a chunk, we'll pay that off before the debt comes, and then we'll just keep doing velocity banking, right? So you're never in a situation where if you take out too much debt, that you're going to be in a bad position, as long as you don't become over leveraged, which is why we have that 66% rule or the 67% rule, so you're not over leveraged, right? So we pay this off quickly. We have the balance transfer outstanding, but we can wipe that out at any time with velocity banking, and we're just moving forward, right? So we paid off our car loan. We have our car free of debt. And the next car that I want to get is a Tesla. So let me know what cars you guys want to drive, whether you have a car loan now, whether you want to pay that car loan off. We can talk specifically about how you guys can pay off your car loan as quickly as possible, or is it even beneficial to pay off your car loan? Because in some situations, you might not want to pay off your car loan. You might want to pay something off first before we do that. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll have more videos like this. I want to make a video on how to pay off student loan debt quickly, and we'll go from there. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.